Peace, black family. We are out here in New York, out here.
We out here in New Rochelle, New York. We out here in Westchester County. We're about 15 minutes away from the Bronx, as far from the city. Also, you know what I'm saying, where your man D-Mill, King Dwight grew up at. Also, Mount Vernon, New York, where Heavy D and them is from, you know what I'm saying, where I came through. But my people originally come from out of Jamaica, real talk Garveyites, you know what I'm saying? And like my grandparents grew me up. That's why I'm the way that I am, because I got that old soul in me, real talk.
Got you. So we out here today. I definitely had to come out here and make sure I check in with the brother right here with the powerful information. This is a brother right here that you can learn so much from. And I got my brother Flo out of Houston with me.
What up, Texas?
You get what I'm saying? So we just gonna go freestyle on some building, on some knowledge, because it's been a while since me and this brother build on some information.
It's been like real talk, last year. Like matter of fact, me and brother Hassan really linked up last year as far as through the IG, and we spoke on the phone quite a few times. But you know how it go, you know what I'm saying? Real talk, he out here doing what he got to do. I'm doing what I got to do. And my man Flo over there got to do what he got to do. But what it is, one thing about the circle, it always comes back, you know what I'm saying, back around and we meet again as far as on our axis.
That's it.
No doubt.
Because, you know, we all got lives that we got to maintain, but we still on that same objective. Right. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people feel like because you don't check in with them every day that you don't care about them. But that don't usually be the case. Sometimes, you know, things get wrapped up. But my brother was just dropping some heavy game. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want that game to go to waste about water. Yeah. About water, the difference between distill and spring. But break that down for me. Break it down.
Real talk. You know, I'm from New York. You know what I'm saying? Check 1, 2, 1, 2. One thing about the water y'all drinking, whether, you know what I'm saying, it's alkaline, whether, you know what I'm saying, it's spring water, whatever the case may be, it still got fluoride in it. Might not have much, though, but you know, fluoride comes from insecticide. And that affects, as far as, you know what I'm saying, not only, you know what I'm saying, as far as our pineal, as far as our third eye, but also as far as our central nervous system, which is the brain overall. The difference between alkaline water, what's going on, mommy? The difference between alkaline water and distilled water is come from steam. I'm pretty sure y'all have heard, as far as, you know what I'm saying, when you boil your water. Only thing about boiled water, though, like you may break down as far as the metals and the toxins in the water, but what it is, though, it becomes sediment as far as on the bottom of the water. So what it is, though, you're still drinking it. But on that process, you know what I'm saying, as far as distilled water, it is that you boil the water, the steam, it goes through a coil, and matter of fact, and drips out as far as, you know what I'm saying, to another bottle, while leaving as far as, you know what I'm saying, all the sediment, you know what I'm saying, as far as, you know what I'm saying, in that first place. So that's how distilled waters work. Only thing with distilled water, they say, though, it has nothing in it, as far as no minerals, unlike the alkaline water. But distilled water, you know what I'm saying, does not harm you. You know what I'm saying? It will not kill you. What it is, though, it flushes you out. At the same time, as far as minerals and your vitamins and stuff, you get that from food. So what it is, you're not going to lose nothing. But at the same time, though, it also removes microorganisms out of your system. If y'all eat meat, stuff like, you know, salmonella, Corella, you know what I'm saying, E. coli bacterias, you know what I'm saying, that develop in the food. One thing about the distilled water, it removes that as far as, you know what I'm saying, out of your intestinal system, as far as your colon. I found out about 20 years ago, a matter of fact, you know what I'm saying, when I went to the mechanic shop to get my car, you know what I'm saying, checked out. And I saw him grab a bottle as far as distilled water and pour it into my battery. And I told him normally I use, you know what I'm saying, water as far from the hose or some water from the tap. He said never use as far as, you know what I'm saying, that type of water because it builds up and corrodes as far as your terminals. One thing about as far as the distilled water, you know what I'm saying, it has nothing in it. So what it is, there's no buildup as far as, you know what I'm saying, in your battery or as far as your terminals at all.
So damn, if they won't use it in the car, so why the hell are we drinking it?
Real talk, like I said, what it is, though, they use distilled water in the car. You know what I'm saying, compared to as far as regular water, because what it is, though, it won't as far as corrode or, you know what I'm saying, as far as, you know what I'm saying, on the terminals.
Right, so the other water would.
Right, as far as, you know what I'm saying.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So why are we drinking that water?
There you go. Real talk. Straight up and down. I mean, you drinking lead, you drinking mercury, you know what I'm saying, you drinking as far as, you know what I'm saying, the chemical, atrazine, you know what I'm saying, as far as, you know what I'm saying, come from a herbicide called, say, Augustine's weed killer. You drinking all of that. And matter of fact, that changes as far as the hormonal system, saying the hormonal system, as far as, you know what I'm saying, in us, as far as men. As far as, because Dr. I believe his name, the brother who exposed it, matter of fact, a professor out of Berkeley, I forgot his name, the brother's name. I think the brother's name is Dr. Bowens. I'm not sure, but you know, it was a black man who exposed it. As far as, you know what I'm saying, ran tests as far as on frogs, and come to find out it changed. It changed the hormonal system as far as in the frog, as far as the regular tap water. Real talk.
That was deep, brother. So to my right of me, to your left on the screen, again, we got my brother Flo. You just came from Khalid Mohammed's grave. Someone who has been a mentor to you, someone that you found on YouTube because he passed in 2001. How does that feel to go pay respects to an elder, or excuse me, ancestor now, somebody that you looked up to, right? How does that feel, brother? How you feel about that?
It was a once in a lifetime experience for me because I unfortunately I never got a chance to meet him in person, but I always was like thinking to myself, somebody's watching over me, and I believe the ancestors are watching over me. So, I think that once I got to know him, he helped me he helped me ignite the spirit in me.
Right.
So he's one of the greatest black men that ever walked this earth, and I'm just forever grateful that he did what he did and he made the impact he made, because I wouldn't be the man I am today if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
We still growing.
And to the left of me, Brother Dwight right here, actually is someone that knows Khalid Mohammed personally.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us a little bit of the spirit of who Khalid Mohammed was?
I met Khalid in two places. I met him here in New York and also in Florida, at Mosque number 82 and Lauderhill, out in Fort Lauderdale. When Khalid was still part of the Nation of Islam, he would come speak. At that time, the Sun Sentinel, I believe, and also the media would come to the mosque, and Khalid made it clear. He said, listen here, make sure you come in here, you record as far as what I'm saying as far as in its entirety. If not, Khalid said, word for word, verbatimly, I will hang your ass from these lights. Real talk. That's how, Brother Khalid, as far as, how he moved and how he rolled. I seen Khalid by himself. As a matter of fact, during the year 2000, as a matter of fact, this came home out of the military. Brother Amadou Diallo was murdered by 4 police officers out there in Soundview section of the Bronx on Wheeler Avenue. And I would go down there. And matter of fact, I met Khalid, again out there, as far as in the Bronx, rolling by himself. Of course, real talk, he wasn't by himself because he had Nameless and Faceless with him. You know how it is, Stainless. But real talk, Khalid was showing me across the street from where Amadou was, was murdered. He was showing me bullet holes as far as in other buildings across the street on Wheeler Avenue. And I remember one thing Khalid would always say, like around, in the evening time, the circus is coming to town. He meant, because like they had rallies out there. One thing about Khalid's rally call isn't saying as far as for battle. But Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton would come out there, and Khalid said, the circus is coming to town. It's time to be out. And real talk, when he was out, I was out. Real talk. My brother Khalid Mohammed, Ralut.
Facts. Now, brother, you being of Jamaican ancestry, right? And we know that Jamaica has produced.
African, brother.
Well,
real talk.
Correct. You are right. African. Being someone who has Jamaican culture.
Right.
You want to say that it's African culture, but we want to identify.
Jamaican culture is really caught up as far as in English culture. Jamaican culture, even though they say they're independent, they still follow the crown.
Right.
As far as the Queen. Real talk. They still have, as far as those names. McFarlane, McPherson, as far as, no slave names. Remember, you have different parts of Jamaica. You have a place called Trenchtown, which is Sir Trench. Spanish Town. You have Mandeville, Manchester, These are all, as far as English names. So Jamaica, like most of, of Africa, has been raped. Has been purged. As far as, not only just by the white man, but remember, not just 400 years ago, but 1,300 years ago, as a matter of fact, when slavery started for the black man by the Arabs. Started with the Arabs, the Portuguese, the Hispanics, and then you had white folk, and last but not least, the Indian. Yes, the Indian. The Indian, was doing the dirty work, as far for the $5 white man. Real talk, for liquor. As far as, for ammunition, for bullets. Real talk, to go catch your ass or go kill your ass. As a matter of fact, the Cherokees were known for that. A lot of y'all claim Cherokee, when y'all put perm in your head.
We gonna get there. We gonna get to the Aboriginals in a second. We gonna get there. We don't want to jump shit. We definitely gonna get on that. But being someone from the bloodline and lineages of Marcus Garvey, coming from that great island, we know that Jamaica produced some of the greatest revolutionaries and thought-provoking people like Paul Bogle. You get what I'm saying? Sam Sharp, 90. Three Finger Jack, Marcus Garvey. I mean, a lot of facts. Facts.
Flow eternal over there. Real talk.
So, let me ask you, what brought you to the realization of being African? Because nowadays, when you speak to most people from any Caribbean place, they identify with the Caribbean before they identify with their African roots.
English.
Right.
Listen, I'm gonna be real with y'all. It's not on. Listen, before you had Africa, before you had Asia, you had a place called Pangea. one large super land mass. Remember, America received its name by Kemet itself, by Amun-Ra himself, as far as Timeric. Remember, you have two, as far as two Americas, North and South. And what it is, though, yes, once again, I'm going to tell you, America got his name, not from Amerigo Vespucci. America got his name as far as from Kemet. You know what I'm saying, which is now called Egypt through the Roman Greco epoch, you know what I'm saying, when Kemet, you know what I'm saying, was defeated, not only as far as, you know what I'm saying, by Caucasoids, but also as far as, you know what I'm saying, by people who look like me and you. See, that's the big problem, too, that's going on with our people that we don't understand. Remember, you couldn't have supremacy without black folk. You couldn't have, as far as, you know what I'm saying, homosexuality without black folk. You couldn't have lesbianism, you know what I'm saying, without black folk. You couldn't have murder and crime without black folk. But let's get it straight, though. You had aboriginals, as far as original people here, called Washita or Olmecs, right here in America, and also the Fulanis out of West Africa. But like I said, but one thing about me, I'm about all. Like I said, I can claim Africa. I can claim the Asiatic black man. I can claim right here in Timeric. But what it is, though, you got to know that and understand that, people. Real talk, you know what I'm saying? It's just not as far as Africa itself. But what it is, though, Europe is West Asia. Europe is not Europe. Europe is West Asia, yo.
Europe can't be a continent.
Real talk.
It can't be a
Real
continent.
talk. Real talk. So let's be real. Them white folks still owe money as far as on them caves. And also them petri dishes they came out of. Let's be real about it. Straight up and down. But as far as to your question, what it is for me, though, I grew up as far as knowing who I am. I came out the womb knowing who I am. Because like I said, because my mother did not grow me. Like I said, when I was in her belly still, my mother tried to abort me with a hanger. And what it is, ended up injuring herself, you know what I'm saying, when she was hospitalized as far as till I was born. It was my grandmother, my grandfather, and my auntie at the time, 17 years old, you know what I'm saying, who raised me. As a matter of fact, so I knew about the Malcolm. I knew about Frank Matthews, you know what I'm saying, out here in New York, taking on the mob. Not Frank Lucas, not Bumpy Johnson, Frank Matthews. Real talk, I knew about Paul Bogle and Sam Sharp, you know what I'm saying, being hung at a young age. Nani, as far as that black woman, you know what I'm saying, who defeated, as far as, you know what I'm saying, the British Empire. So I was taught this. I mean, this was real homeschooling. You know what I'm saying, not education. This was homeschooling. As far as knowledge itself, as far as to attain wisdom. Right. So real talk, you know what I'm saying? So like claiming Jamaica is one thing, but at the same time though, if you claim Jamaica, you got to claim as far as all of it, not just Jamaica. Right. And that go for Barbados, Trinidad, and so forth and so forth and so forth. It don't matter, real talk. See, y'all waving flags. But see what it is, though, you know what I'm saying? It's time to wave as far as nationalism. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about tribalism, but tribalism, you know what I'm saying, led to colonism. So what it is, you know what I'm saying? We got to come back as far as to nationalism. You know what I'm saying? Brother Marcus Garvey, you know what I'm saying, was talking about nationalism. Matter of fact, Marcus Garvey wanted to have a conduit between as far as Africa and here, where we can go back home. But at the same time, though, here is still home. We built this up. Even that White House, really that black house down there. Matter of fact, the obelisk of Asar. Real talk down there in Washington, D.C., you know what I'm saying, is the erection of Asar. As far as, you know what I'm saying, the original Asar set, you know what I'm saying, Haru. You know what I'm saying, where they got as far as Joseph, Mary, and Jesus from.
Oh, brother, you just brought a powerful point that I want to touch on.
Real to Osiris and Isis, you know what I'm saying, and Horus. Yeah. Then you're saying them Greek names.
We was actually going through an Asian cemetery on the way up here, passing through one of those highways in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And tell me why they had obelisks poking up out of the Asian cemetery.
Asar got nothing to do as far as, you know what I'm saying, with Asia. Asar got to do as far with us. Remember, Asar was killed by his brother Seth. Right. Chopped him to 14 pieces. And matter of fact, they went out to look for him and only found 13. And wrapped his body in cloth, what y'all call mummies, and put his body in a corset, you know what I'm saying, as far as, you know what I'm saying, that tomb. You understand? See, one thing about as far as our enemy has taken, that matter of fact, even the blood sign, even the Crip sign is all committed, you know what I'm saying, as far as, you know what I'm saying, hand sign language. That's our, you know what I'm saying, that's our culture. That's our language. Remember, the blood sign means to re-enter. The Crip side means as far as to open. But real talk, but y'all use it as far as, you know what I'm saying, murder, death, kill. So everything, like even Facebook, Instagram, real talk, all them symbols that the Masons, you know what I'm saying, who don't want to be black, you know what I'm saying, who don't want to identify as far as who they are, you know what I'm saying, want to keep secrets. Everything, you know what I'm saying, that you see what's going on here, as far as, you know what I'm saying, how this Caucasus became a ruler, because, you know what I'm saying, because he studied. You know what I'm saying, and put our culture to use, unlike us. We have taken Western culture as far as, you know what I'm saying, over as far as, you know what I'm saying, original culture, and look where we at, and look where we at, you know what I'm saying, and look where as far as where they at. Real talk. My name is King Dwight, y'all, real talk.
I would start over here with my brother with this question. How do you feel about this new movement of Aboriginals that's coming about that's saying the slave trade never took place, and now they're saying the slave trade was done in reverse? Now the newest thing they're saying is that America is Africa. How do you feel about all this?
It's just pseudo nonsense. It's just another identity to identify with besides African. Every year, every other couple years, every other decade, they come out with a new identity that's different from what we been and always have been. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We've been African. We've always been African. Our ancestors knew that. But over time, with the self-hatred and, institutionalized racism going on in our community, we distance ourselves from who we truly are so much that we started creating, we giving up hundreds of thousands of years of culture, for 200-300, year old civilizations that failed because, it was just destructive culture,
Uncivilized.
Yeah.
The last 1,300
So
years.
it's like, everybody want to be everything but African,
Why do you think that's the be though? Why do you think everybody want to be everything but African?
I'm gonna be real with you. I was one of those dudes that, used to, mock Africa, and the condition of Africa. I did that when I was, in my little self-hatred days. But it's just really about what they teach us in school. When they show Africa, all they show you is the poor parts. They never show you the beaches or the resorts. They never show you anything. They never show you the only thing beautiful about Africa is the pyramids, and that's in Egypt, which is technically not in Africa. How they try to make it seem. Yeah. So it's like, they don't give us the real history or give us any positive images of Africa. So we grow up hating Africa, knowing nothing of it. And so
Africa's hating Africa. Yeah. I live in Africa.
Yeah. So these Aboriginals are just some new fools who are, they just want to be anything but African. Right. But the fact that my thing is that to debunk this whole thing, just study the migrations of the Africans out of Africa, and they're gonna take you right to the truth.
What you are, yeah.
Right. It's right there in your face. They Africans who migrated to this continent. Mm-hmm. That's all it really is. It don't change your identity or your bloodline. All you do is change cultures and languages. Don't change your genes.
Now, brother, you said something powerful to my left over here, and I want you to repeat that again. You said you got Africans in Africa hating Africa. Break that down for me, brother, because that was a powerful statement.
Matter of fact, today, a Nigerian brother told me that he don't know about as far as the treatment of black people in America. But I said, brother, first of all, it was the English, that raped y'all. Real talk, raped our people. So how the hell you don't know about as far as the treatment of black people here, as far as what's going on in Nigeria? First of all, Nigeria itself mean nigga. So how the hell you don't know as far as the treatment of black people, as far as in here in America, which was named, as far as by Kemet itself. So that's just telling me, as far as the indoctrination and the ignorance is heavy, as far as on our people globally. And this is the problem, why the white man call us minority. We're connected with our people globally. We outnumber them 30-1, probably even more than that. But how you gonna come talking about, well, listen, because I explained to him about Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom's a good friend of mine. It was Sambo who killed Uncle Tom. It was Sambo who said, listen here, I want you to kill that for the people. Uncle Tom refused. Josiah Henson, he refused. And real talk, he was killed for it by Sambo. Sambo's the one you got to watch out for. Real talk, master. See what it is? You went from a master to become a master. So how the hell you don't know as far as, the struggle that goes on here, talking about they had revolution in Nigeria. But Nigeria is still controlled by the crown. The English crown. Not the crown as far as, of a king of Africa. And that's the problem, as far as, what's going on as far as, with our people globally. Because all of y'all caught up in tribalism, into your groups. Y'all Bloods and Crips. But at the same time, the blood is the end, as far as the entity, as far as inside the Crip, which is the body. But now, but now you have an autoimmune deficiency now, where the blood attacks the body. What's going on, mama? Real talk. Straight up and down. But like I said, once again, we need, as far as, to know who we are, as far as on a global scale. And like I said, America, Europe, whatever you want to call it, Asia, this is all ours, black people, original people. You can be Aboriginal all you want. But real talk, know your foundation. Know your structure. Real talk.
And you know what? I just want to build on what the brother said, because I get a lot of flack because I identify as being African first. And a lot of people say, well, you Haitian, how can you identify with being African and all that, shenanigans. And what he said about the tribalism is true within our community. We have a lot of it, man. And I call it cultural Willie Lynch syndrome. You get what I'm saying? It's real deal genocide, man, because, you feel like you from this island, you from that island, so we decide to separate ourselves, man. But we definitely have to build on the premise of being African. I just met this brother. We knew each other online for several years. Never really met. We just met each other last week. Been riding out past 3-4 days together. You know what I'm saying? Cooling it. Met Dwight online. Same thing. The reason why we could come together as black men and not have any issues and connect is because we have the same objective. We have the same mindset. We know who our enemy is. When you know your enemy is, you know the brothers that look like you ain't your enemy. You get what I'm saying? So some things that we got to get back to is being unapologetically African. That's number one. Knowing who the enemy is and building structure within our community, man. Because Africa is anywhere you are. That's one thing we got to realize too. Because everybody want to run back to Africa and fall under neo-colonialism, but Africa is anywhere you are.
Right here.
You know what I'm saying?
Right
Facts. It's anywhere you are.
Carry Africa. We all carry as far as Pangea. And also what I want to say too, as far as them stars up there, those are our ancestors. You understand what I'm saying? As far as that carbon, which is in our skin. Remember, our blood moves through atmospheric pressure, through the sun and the moon. Real talk. The same way how the moon raises the tide. You know what I'm saying? In the morning, the sun comes and lower the tide. Because I found out, you know what I'm saying, through study, it's not the heart that pumps blood. The heart pumps oxygen into the blood, but the blood moves on its own as an entity through atmospheric pressure, which is the sun and the moon. So what it is, so that's our connection.
Smoke 'em.
Real talk. That's why me and brother is sitting, listen here. First time seeing him as far as in the physical. Saying they will flow eternal. But see, one thing about me, respect is for you to lose. Because you know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying, when I first meet you, that's what I give you. Straight up and down. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm always talk about talk shop. We're not going to talk religion, you know what I'm saying, as far as ignorance. We're going to talk solution. The same thing with that snake bite. When that snake bites you with that poison, you know what I'm saying, that poison, you know what I'm saying, is also as far as the antidote. That's what we on. The problem is the solution. The lie is the truth. And this is what we here talking about here as far as today. Manifestation. Truth be told. Each one teach one. Ubuntu. I am because who we all are. What I told our brother in Nigeria. Ubuntu. Abibi Fahudi. No mercy was shown. None will be given. Real talk. So let's be real about it. Don't kid yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you're an English nigga. Straight up and down. What's going on, black man? Real talk. Straight up and down. And this is what I do with these young folk out here. Train them. You know what I'm saying? Not only as far as physically, but also as far as mentally. Having insight. Remember, listen, I have young folk that came through here that had went to college and can't read a phrase fluidly. This is what's going on here, y'all. Y'all still want to argue and debate? As far as over what? As far as where you come from? Listen here. Knowing where you come from is one thing, but also knowing where you at is another. And we're losing sight as far as the whole perspective. This is what I'm telling you. Real talk.
Facts. For the last topic, which is probably the most underrated topic within our community, I want to touch on relationships, black love. Not only male and female, but male and male as well. You get what I'm saying? Like us three brothers, we could sit here, we could build all day. I want to know why is it so hard?
Homosexual.
No, it's not homosexual. But we don't even got to say that because we know.
I'm just saying for the listeners.
Yeah, right, for the listeners.
You ain't gonna like me. I'm thinking black. That ain't black love. That's
Black male and black love. You feel what I'm saying? Why is it that our energy is focused in the wrong place? Yeah, facts. You know what I'm saying? What are some of the issues you see within our community with showing love and building love?
Love is right here.
It's more so we've popularized the good things be bad and the bad things be good. So being friendly now is a bad thing, you know, and being mean and being stuck up and being savage is a good thing now. So it's like it's hard for us to get out of that culture of us just saying nice things to each other, complimenting each other. Just simple conversations can spark, you know, anything. You know, it can spark relationships, it can spark business transactions, it can spark anything, you know. You can meet people through other people, you know, you never know. But we so used to this culture of us being savage and stuck up and independent on our own. We don't need nobody that, you know, we're not used to being friendly and used to conversating and loving each other anymore. You know, it's a competition to be the most savage and independent now.
Right, but that's something that definitely was created within our community. That's not something that's innately original to the African. That's us adopting European culture, right? We gotta admit that. We always got to get a crack of the credit where he deserves his crack of that. You know what I'm saying? What words you got for that, brother?
Mm-hmm. Like I said, the other day I watched an interview with Terry Crews, the brother from Flint, Michigan, you know, who's a celebrity now. And I guess he must have thought, you know what I'm saying, by as far as indulging, as far as, you know what I'm saying, in feminine, you know what I'm saying, as far as in feminism or homo, you know what I'm saying, or homosexual, you know what I'm saying, rituals, that he would get his 6 degrees of separation like Will Smith. Remember, that was his first movie, Will Smith, was fucking a white boy. And Terry Crews thought, you know what I'm saying, by him, you know what I'm saying, allowing to put his balls in the white man's hand to my he got control. First of all, you put your balls in his hand, straight up and down. Hold on one second. You put your balls in his hand. So what it is, though, as far as, you know what I'm saying, black love means as far as the respect that I have for my brothers here. They children is my children. And real talk, you know what I'm saying, they woman is they woman. But at the same time, though, I'm going to look out for they woman. You understand? You know what I'm saying? As far as they woman. I mean, that's how it used to be. And we have deviated as far as from that circle. As far as, you know what I'm saying, with love and respect and overstanding. See, what it is, though, you got to have solidarity. You got to have uniformity. You got to have unity. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying it works hand in hand. But like I said, but black love is lost. As far as how I see it now. You know what I'm saying? You have the few, you know what I'm saying, like us here, that still show it. You know what I'm saying? That still put it into practice. But overall, as far as the multitudes of many, black love is lost. And as far as for the black woman, y'all need to know, you know what I'm saying, y'all need to know how to get intimate. As far as, you know what I'm saying, spiritual with your woman. You know what I'm saying? Look her into the eyes. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, caress her face. Know how to kiss as far as, you know what I'm saying, as far as that third eye kiss. Rub them toes. You know what I'm saying? Blow on them toes. Smell her feet. Real talk. See what it is, though? You just want to get horizontal. And that's about it. Horizontal is a death level, too, remember. Remember that. The cousin of sleep. But at the same time, though, like, can you get vertical with her? As far as, you know what I'm saying, as far as accurate. Perpendicular with the sun. Upright. Can you be an upright brother with her? So definitely, you know what I'm saying, the love is lost. We have became hypersexuals. We have became freaks. We have became queers. We have became savages. Straight up and down. And I'm telling y'all that. Real talk. Y'all have became materialistic as far as with money. But at the same time, though, that same woman, as far as, you know what I'm saying, who you materially on, she don't respect your judgment. Real talk, homeboy. You soft.
I got one last question before we get up out of here. And this is a question that just came to my mind. You've been doing this for so long, brother. You've been doing this for so long, providing and giving to your community information. Just how you've been doing this for so long. I just came from Dr. Amos Wilson's grave.
Dr. Amos Wilson's grave,
right?
Okay.
And he didn't even have a headstone. Mm-hmm. This is somebody that gave us so much information through the 90s and through the 80s and back and forth. Foundation. And he don't even have a headstone, a place where we could go and say, this is Dr. Amos Wilson's grave. What gives you the fuel to keep? Because that burnt me out. I was in the car riding over. His sister was like, "You all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm." It just burnt me out to see that this brother put so much in it, and he had to go out a number, brother. What gives you the fuel to keep on going?
Listen, first of all, it was Bumpy Johnson that gave Malcolm a headstone, a gangster. Not Nation of Islam, nobody else but Bumpy Johnson, a gangster, real gangster. Gangster mean brotherhood, real talk, the connection. Remember, the whole gang thing came out of the Black Panther movement. See, what it is, though, Tookie messed it up. Tookie wanted to do Sherm, wanted to do drugs. He wanted to become tribal. That's why the whole thing messed up as far as out there in Cali. Remember, you know what I'm saying, that was passed on to certain brothers. Rayford Johnson, all them brothers out there in Cali. I'm giving history. Mike Conception taught as far as, you know what I'm saying, as far as the sign language. Remember, blood came out of Crip. Of course it came out of Crip. But what keeps me going is because one thing, I don't fear death. For what? I mean, listen, if you got death on the table for me, that's it. Try something else. Because one thing about me, you know what I'm saying, I took the life out of death. And real talk, I'm going to give it back to you. How about that? Real talk. But that begins to keep me going. Because like I said, because I know for a fact, you know what I'm saying, we can't save all. But like I said, but as long as I continue to do what I'm doing, this brother here, and sister over here, believe me, you know what I'm saying, believe me, somebody, someone, you know what I'm saying, will acknowledge as far as of self, knowledge of self. At the same time, will apply knowledge of self as far as to attain, as far as wisdom. The same way you have the sun, moon, and the stars. That's man, woman, and child, 360. Right. Real talk. Straight up and down. And that 9, that 360 is 9, also inverted, you know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? Or reciprocated is a 6. Real talk, as far as our melanin. So get it straight. You know what I'm saying? Why I'm out here. Straight up and down. I've been attacked by police. Fuck them and they mama. Straight up and down. Don't matter to me. Yeah, John Enzio. Paul DeRasmo, real talk, believe me, not forgotten. You know what I'm saying? I'm here, back on my feet. Had to get surgery too, I fell on my spine because of the injuries, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we can try again. We can try again, real talk. Nah, you can't break nothing. You know what I'm saying? Listen here. Go break glass. Go break boxes. But real talk right here, you ain't breaking nothing. Straight up and down. Some things are immovable, and some things, you know what I'm saying, are impenetrable. And that's what you know, as far as, you know what I'm saying, what we should get back on as a people, as far through our ancestors. Amos Wilson, Francis Cress Welsing, real talk. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Go back to that. The Paul Bogles, the Sam Sharps, the Marcus Garveys, the Paul Salems, and Bunker Hill. Real talk, go back to that. Real talk, you know what I'm saying? Listen, you cannot go forward, you know what I'm saying, if you don't know where you're coming from. So real talk, you know what I'm saying, you have to go back as far as, you know what I'm saying, as far as to know where you're going as far as forward. Straight up and down.
I appreciate the time that you took out of your day, brother, to build with us, to do this. Is highly appreciated. The youth need more examples within the community because, listen, the reason I sat in the middle is because he's an elder. I'm a medium, and this is the youth right here. You get what I'm saying? That's the reason why I sat in the middle, because his cup is overflowing into my cup. You get what I'm saying? And then my cup is overflowing into this young brother's cup right here. And that's the way it's supposed to go. I don't have no issue coming out here and building with the brother, building with the elder, getting the information and passing on to you. That's what's supposed to be done. You get what I'm saying? That's how lions learn to hunt, from the elders within the tribe, right? So before we get out of here, brother, you got anything else you want to add to that?
No, I'm glad, I came out and met him. He's a powerful, you know, solid young brother. Yeah, most definitely, all the way, And we don't meet too many. I don't meet too many, but I'm glad I came out here, and travel with us.
And let me say, he ain't broke, he ain't poor, because a lot of our elders end up dying in shame and in shambles. You get what I'm saying? And that's the people's fault. That's the people's fault. But my brother was wise enough to start his own business and do whatever he has to do to maintain his home and the structure, and still not compromise his blackness to do so. So a lot of times we gotta understand, man, we gotta take care of those who provide the message for us. And I appreciate everyone. You got anything to add, brother? Go ahead.
A lot of us young lions are old punks now. I'm telling y'all. A lot of y'all, you know what I'm saying, my speed, your number suckers now. Y'all hide behind words and terminology. You know what I'm saying? But there's no definition as far as in action, how you live and how you move and how you approach people. A lot of y'all punks, straight up and down. A lot of y'all just talk a good war story. But what it is, though, you know what I'm saying, the war still goes on. And I'm telling you now, if you ain't out here, as far as, you know what I'm saying, connecting, you know what I'm saying, with the, you know what I'm saying, as far as with our people, listen here, being afraid not gonna cut it. Straight up and down. This is who I deal with. I deal with these so-called gangsters, these so-called bodman them, whatever they want to call them, blood clot self. I'm telling you right now, real talk, your brother's here. Real talk, you know what I'm saying, with that bullshit. Because I'm real talk, I'm going to tell you, straight up and down, you can pop off all you want, you know what I'm saying, but can you build? You know what I'm saying, can you build? You know what I'm saying, one thing about our people, you know what I'm saying, we can destroy, but can we build? All right? And what it is, that could be the question or the answer, however you want to take it. I'm telling you right now, real talk. What's going on, Queen? Boom.
Hey, listen, I appreciate the time, brother. What's your IG again? Hit him with the IG.
Yeah, KingDwight.dr. KingDwight.dr is my IG. I don't fuck with Facebook too much, because real talk of Facebook, you know what I'm saying, real talk is the FB, and the IG is the I, but at the same time, though, we gotta understand it is a database program, but at the same time, though, it's not for be showing your ass, showing your titties, showing your ignorance, showing your weapons, and you know what I'm saying, and your homies me mugging, because real talk, because all y'all gang niggas too, all that bullshit, quick to kill as far as each other, but real talk, that white man can spit on you, can slap your mother, and you ain't doing a motherfucking thing, straight up and down, boom.
Brother, go ahead and hit him with the IG right quick.
Flow Eternal _ FLOETERNAL _ Flow Eternal.
Listen, I appreciate my brothers. Until next time, black people, think black, stay black, love black, support black, and that's real black power.
Yeah, be black shit. Word up.